Hello and welcome to the show where I talk about everything that I'm watching on my TV. Today we're going to talk about The Flash. Now, just in case you're wondering why I waited until a few episodes went by to start reviewing this show, let me explain. So season 6 got cut short because of COVID. So like the first few episodes of season 7 were like just the last few episodes of season 6. So technically this episode that we just had is the season 7 premiere, or what was supposed to be the season 7 premiere. So that's why I waited, so we can actually talk about the premiere, even though it's episode 4. So in this episode, they're basically dealing with the aftermath of everything Eva did. They're trying to clean up the city after she tried to destroy it, and Abracadabra shows up and he tries to destroy the city and kill everyone. And Barry is able to stop him by having a nice little chat. And meanwhile, Iris is basically ignoring all of her trauma that she went through while she was stuck in the Mirrorverse, but she ends up facing it at the end of the episode, and it ends with the most fitting song you could ever choose to end an episode like this, which is You Gotta Be. And if you don't know what that song is, please pause, Google it, look it up, listen to it. It took me back to my childhood. Did it take you back to yours? But it was so perfect, basically, because of what was happening in that scene with Iris. And there is a lyric in the song that says, "All I know is love will save the day." And that's basically what this show is about now. And talking about that, like how they try to use love to save the day and fix everything, it's a little corny. And I've come to accept that this is just going to be a corny superhero show. And now that I've accepted it, I'm okay with it, and I can move on and not be super upset and super angry like a whole bunch of people are every time they try and say that they're going to use love to stop the villains. Was this a good episode? Sure. I was excited to see Chester and Cisco's dynamic because I figured it would be great, and it was. So that had me really happy. The ending with the separation of Killer Frost and Caitlin, I think I might enjoy that dynamic better with them being two different people, so we have less of that them talking to each other whole thing that I just was over. Don't know why they did it that way with her powers, but it doesn't matter anymore because they're two different people. Now for that giant monster that couldn't be destroyed that just squished Barry with a hug at the end of the episode, I have an idea about that. I'm gonna connect that to what happened at the end of the last episode when Iris brought back the Speed Force and all of that energy went into the sky and we saw the different color lightning. So when I first saw that, I did some digging. I went back and watched some episodes, this one in particular, and which talked about why the Speed Force died. And it was basically because Spectre's energy, Barry used it in Crisis to get into the Speed Force, so that energy was killing the Speed Force and basically killed it. Interestingly enough, in that episode, when Barry was in the Speed Force finding that out, it was all stormy, and the color of the lightning was blue and green, which were the two like new colors of the lightnings that we got at the end of the last episode. The other colors were red and yellow, which is what we've seen before. So with that in mind, I thought that the blue and green lightning was Spectre's energy and that was just being dispersed out into the universe. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Like when you have a virus, you have to expel that virus from your body for you to get better. So Spectre's energy was kind of like a virus in the Speed Force, and it got expelled. So in my mind, I thought that that would probably bring about some new metas. So when I saw that giant thing that couldn't be destroyed, I'm like, hey, that's a new meta. And even in the promo for next week, it looks like they've come encounter with another meta that they've never even seen before. So I also read this article that I will link below in the description box, and it talked about the lightning, and the theory in that article was that the different lightning was bringing about new forces. Like we have the Speed Force, so then there's other forces like the Strength Force, which increases strength obviously, but also increases your durability, which would make sense in that giant monster thing because it couldn't be destroyed, like super durable. So with that being said, what does all of this mean moving forward? So if they are bringing up the new forces and they go in that direction, I think that we're gonna start seeing metas that represent each force. And they'll probably be like, where are they coming from and why is this happening? You know, and then they'll discover somehow that there are new forces other than just the Speed Force. And then they'll have to be dealing with that, which I think would be really interesting because it would kind of like build more upon the world, which is nice because they just keep doing stuff like different universes and different timelines and can get kind of old. So we need something new to like spark up the show, pun intended. If they don't go in this direction, you know, I'll just stick with my other theory that it is Spectre's energy and that these new metas are just because of all of this new energy that got expelled into the universe. So now that led me to think about who the big bad would be for this season. And I don't know, I can't predict it right now. And I also, because I couldn't predict it, I also was thinking like, it could actually be really interesting if they didn't really have a big bad this season and was just dealing with the after effects of all of that energy being dispersed. Whether it be Spectre's energy or bringing about the new forces, it would still be really interesting just to see them dealing with that in Central City instead of like there being someone that's like trying to kill Barry or like trying to kill everyone in the city. Like, it's season 7. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to do something different. So if they don't have a big bad, that would definitely break a bunch of rules. But it's been going on for a long time. Maybe they want to try something new and it would be cool. And if it works and ends up being amazing, then it's amazing. So who cares if they broke a bunch of rules or not? Just thinking about the rest of the season as a whole, since it's like a new season technically, and what they're gonna do with the storylines. Like last season they got a new showrunner, right? So from what I saw last season, he doesn't like to just immediately introduce a big bad and then have them try and defeat this person throughout the whole season. He kind of like has a big story in mind and then will just lead up to like these big climactic events, and then they'll build up to the resolution of it all at the end of the season. Now, I personally like it that way. When you introduce a big bad in like the first couple episodes and then you have like 20 something episodes to figure out how to defeat them, it's like all of this time in between. And a lot of times with like past seasons, I know like me and like other fans have been just sitting there watching it like they could just do this and then maybe they would defeat them or whatever. And it just seems like the writers would like wait until the season finale to defeat the big bad, which is fine. But if you have all of these episodes just trying to bring about like random obstacles, but you could have defeated it like 6 episodes before the end, it starts to get a little boring and the fans are not like into it anymore. At least I'm not into it anymore, because it's just like, how many times are you gonna fail? Like, how many bad plans are you gonna have before you like figure out this is what happens? Because it's always just like a light bulb moment at the end at the right time, and then they do this one thing in 5 minutes and then they defeat the villain. So I prefer the direction that it's going now, where they just lead up to these like big things and then they have the resolution at the end. It just, I don't know. For me, it's just better. I like it better. That's just my personal opinion. So with the season moving forward, I'm like super excited about it. I wasn't, and I have not been excited about this show since like season 3. I did not like season 4 or 5 a lot. but I gave the show another chance in season 6 when I saw that they were getting a new showrunner. And I'm glad I did, because now I'm super excited about it again, like I was before. So let me know if you have any theories of what's coming about this season. Do you think that they're gonna have a big bad, and who you think it's gonna be? What are your thoughts on this new forces that could possibly be happening? Or what do you think the lightning meant that we saw in that other episode? Because like, it has to be important, or they wouldn't have showed it to us. And just, let me know all of your thoughts on the show so far. Yeah, I'll see you guys later. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and do all of the things. Thanks for watching. Bye.